Chisholm City Council meeting, December 10th, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. Susan, would you please take roll call?
Yes. Counselor Halifax?
Present.
Counselor Fountain? Absent. Counselor Baki?
Here.
Counselor Varda?
Here.
Counselor Halverson?
Present.
Mayor Lang?
Here. And Council, I'll look for a motion to adopt the agenda. We do have 3 additions that were emailed out to you, and they're on the paper copy on the second page. So we are adding under Jim, so C4 would be final pay application number 13 for the Chisholm Sports Arena, and 5 and 6 under myself. 5 would be scheduled working session for Highway 73 corridor, and cigarette license for Minnesota C-Store. With those additions, I'd look for a motion to adopt the agenda.
Make a motion.
Thank you, Jed.
Support.
Thank you, Travis.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
is the working session regarding Highway 73 south or the going north?
South.
South,
South. The corridor.
from the water tower to the roundabout?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Pledge allegiance, if you would.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Councilor Oliver, do we have any public participation?
Nothing, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Start with council reports. I'll start with you tonight, Councilor Halverson. Good evening.
Good evening. I attended Red Head Planning Committee meetings, Minnesota Discovery Center planning meetings, and the working session, not working session, the meeting with MnDOT last week at the Senior Center regarding the Highway 73 South corridor. And I was very disappointed in their presentation and their outcomes based on 4 years of time and what they came up with. So I'm glad we're having a working session because I was extremely disappointed. We asked them about getting land back for development and they gave us 0. So it's going to be a topic of discussion.
Okay. Thank you. Councilor Arda?
Just a short one. I attended the fire meeting. There was one anniversary. John, with 9 years, I think he had. It's 9 years. And I went to the Rams dinner last night. That was a pretty good evening last night. So.
Thank you. Councilor Vaki, good evening.
Good evening. Bringing Light to Chisholm tomorrow. Come out, big event for us. There's talk of the school. There are lots of people talk about it. I've heard throughout the school, so that's exciting. Today is my busy day, so I had a chamber board meeting this morning. Polar Bear Days are coming up. They're starting to work on a schedule, so more to come on Polar Bear Days. We did talk about potentially slide the city. We'll see what snow looks like at that time, but that topic was brought up. So that's something to consider. And then I just came from a CCF board meeting, and I just want to take this time quickly to, obviously you all saw my resignation letter from the ambulance. I am grateful for my time that I have been on the ambulance. It was 4 years, 2 years longer than I anticipated being on there, but it was great to be on there from day one with everybody. The crew is amazing, the team is amazing, great leader, and I was not, if you had told me 4 years ago that I would have done 4 years in the ambulance service, I would have told you were lying. But I do encourage everyone who's considering wants to help serve the community. This is a great opportunity. I just want to thank Jed and Adam and everybody else on the team. But the team is strong, the roster is good, and I can step back. My plate is overfull with other things. So, but I just want to say thank you to the city for allowing me to be part of that the last 4 years, and it was a really great experience.
Time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does.
So,
Sorry, Jed, about not being able to go on transfers.
I'd just like to take a quick second just to thank you very much, on behalf of myself and all your coworkers and the city, for your service, so. Councilor Hollabaugh, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you, Travis, by the way. Yeah, appreciate your efforts there too. Awesome. Very good. Mr. Mayor, I attended the MnDOT meeting as well. Part of it I got called on an ambulance call, but the part I did attend, I was very disappointed as well. I'm glad we're having a working session on what became of that whole corridor, so hope we can get something figured out better for us in the city and stuff. So.
All right, also, you brought up the CCF there, Travis, so they had a very nice fundraiser that they do every year, and that was, I'd say it's a success last Friday, so I was very happy to attend that. But other than that, I have no report, so we'll move on. Ambulance Director, Tiffany, good evening.
I think it's all said. I'll go with no report. Thank you.
I do expect a party.
Oh, well. Report in the middle then.
Building official Mandy, good evening.
No report.
City Engineer Jim.
I have no report unless you have questions for me. Thank you.
Public Works Larry, good evening.
Evening, Mayor, Council. Just a quick report. I don't have anything on the agenda, so I do want to reach out just a little bit for folks. With the snow, we're starting to get snowbanks, so the calls will start coming in. But we'll try to work with you when we can. But there's 2,150 residences, so and we're all in this together. I want to highlight that. The last storm really missed us here last night, so we were able to get cleaned up today, and we're going to sweep and try to do everything we can to help with the light up the city tomorrow, where we'll try to make it as nice as possible and get everything sanded. We are doing some winter maintenance in the lift station, so at the next council meeting I'll have a proposal on a new pump, so we can get that installed for spring when we start our big runoff. And I do want to thank our friends, our local vendor friends at Ziegler Cat. We had a grader down for 10 days, and I did get a couple calls. Something's weird, something's unusual. Well, things break, everything mechanical breaks, just a matter of time. And our second grader is like a 1984, so it's a 40-year-old grader. But our friends at Ziegler Cat, we ordered a part that we broke on the first snowstorm, and it was lost in transit. And then we said, reorder the part, we got to have the grader. And they said, it's 14 days out. So our friends at Ziegler Cat, they found a part within their network, they got it up to us. We got it on and we were grading this morning, so we want to thank our friends over there. And it's super, just another example of having local vendors that they see the need, they didn't hang up the phone, and we kept calling, they found a part and we made it happen. So we appreciate that. And again, if something's unusual, why am I seeing a grader? I don't usually see a grader. What's going on? We're training new employees. We have 2 new employees. And so, things are different, but you're welcome to call and we'll get through it. So, thank you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Larry,
Larry?
when do we see ice on the rink?
There is ice. We flooded twice today,
Oh, okay.
and every day through the week here.
Okay.
There should be ice for the little kids that want to play and stuff for the weekend, but for sure hockey by Christmas break.
Okay.
For sure.
Thank you.
Yep.
Parks, Trails, Rec. Colin, good evening.
Good evening, Council. Just a couple announcements for the public. So we will have our holiday Christmas party for our youth center next Thursday, December 18th. That's after school. And then we just kind of touched on the outdoor rink. So I was going to say that that's going to be open sometime around the holiday season. So, yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
So hope for cold, huh, Councilor Varda?
It was a little warm today.
Library Supervisor, Katie? Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. As Councilor Baki mentioned, we've got the Bringing Light to Chisholm event starting tomorrow. The kickoff is at 5 o'clock with Mrs. Claus reading a book at the library. And the event usually goes till about 7 o'clock, so I'll just go over a few highlights of the evening. Intrigue Chocolate Company is going to be open exclusively for the evening from 5 to 7, so if you want to check out the new business in town, they will be selling chocolate. We have a horse-drawn sleigh ride, cookie decorating, face painting, and s'mores at Jim's. Tom and Jerry's does a wonderful winter wonderland and does a lot of decorating, so stop in at Tom and Jerry's. The Chisholm Baptist is going to have a caroling group on 2nd Avenue and Lake Street. And new this year that I did want to mention that we're excited about is we have a community giving tree. And so the idea kind of came from a brainstorming session during one of our age-friendly committee meetings. And so we partnered with Deletto to have a tree that's filled with ornaments, offering just simple and meaningful ways to help out in the community and spread some kindness. And we sat down as kind of a group and identified some needs within the community. So just to give you a few ideas of what is on the tree, make a donation to the Chisholm Food Shelf, sing Christmas carols at a nursing home, donate a bag of cat food to Precious Paws, pick up a piece of trash on Lake Street, support a local business and buy a gift card and pay it forward to someone else, donate a bookshelf to Heritage Manor. They're looking for a bookshelf specifically for their large print collection. Shovel a neighbor's sidewalk, read a book to a child, and there's a lot more to choose from. So if that's something the community wants to participate in, stop down in Deletto and check it out. What else? And then the Museum of Mining, they've done a lot of decorating, and they're going to have a sliding hill and also hot cocoa available. And a lot of other things going on. We'll have some bonfires, thank you to the fire department, and we're looking forward to that tomorrow. So thank you to the council for continuing to support the event and all the volunteers that help make it happen.
Thank you.
I have a question, Katie.
Yeah.
Did the museum get a hold of you? I mentioned them to talk to you about lights.
Yes, they did.
Okay.
Yes, we had some conversations and we found some lights, and so
Okay.
they've been doing a lot. And I know they lit up a truck down there and some other things, so
Yeah.
definitely
okay.
worth checking out. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
City Attorney, Brian, good evening.
Thanks, Mayor. Good evening. No formal report, but I am happy to field questions if there are any.
Clerk Treasurer, Deb. City Administrator, Stephanie, good evening.
Good evening. I do not have a formal report tonight.
Okay, council, move on. Look for a motion to approve the consent agenda, which consists of the list of bills, communications, minutes of previous city council meeting, payroll and overtime, and one resignation from the Chisholm Ambulance Service.
Make a motion.
Thank you, Jed.
Second.
Thank you, Marty. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Having no unfinished business, we'll move on to new business. Ambulance Director, Tiffany.
Good evening. I have a new one for me, a resolution to accept a donation from a family in town. Thank you, Katie, for giving me the template and how to do this, because this is not something we've had done before. A family in town requested assistance. They unfortunately didn't have the outcome that everybody wanted, but they did appreciate the care provided by the EMS crew that responded, and the bedside manner and the time that that crew took with the family members meant a lot to them. So in lieu of flowers, they requested donations to the ambulance service at the funeral. We did get some donations, and we are looking to put that money towards the Lucas 3 device at the first of the year.
Council, look for a motion to approve resolution number 1225-98 and to send a thank you.
Of course.
Do you have to put the amount in the motion or no?
It is in the
It's in there.
paperwork.
Okay.
Make a motion.
Thank you, Jed.
Support.
Thank you, Thank you, Jim. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, Stephanie's gonna take, Police Chief, raffle update here.
On November 25th, the Gambling Commission approved a gambling application for the Northern Tracks ATV Club. This is just informational for the council. The raffle will be on May 2nd at Gym Sports Club.
Thank you. City Engineer, Jim, good evening.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council, and if you don't have another meeting, Merry Christmas in advance. If you'll please turn to page 16, we have pay application number 2 for the exterior improvements at the ice arena on the driveway and the parking lot improvements. As you see, the amount of the payment is $31,401.30, consisting of a little over $33,000 of work that was actually completed. Most of that, you'll see the detail on page 18. primarily being sod and paying for the quantity of the material, the aggregate base provided by the city. Makes up most of that cost. So you see the total work done was a little over $33,000, retaining 5% in the amount of about $1,650. Results in a proposed payment of $31,401.30, and I would recommend payment in that amount, please.
All right, council, unless there's any questions, I'll look for a motion and support for pay application number 2 in the amount of $31,401.30.
Motion.
Thank you, Jim.
Second.
Thank you, Marty. Any further discussion? Any? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion
Thank
carries.
you.
I'm sorry. If you'll turn to page 19, then we have change order number 2 on the interior improvements at the ice arena and and at the curling club. This particular change order is really for replacement of poor soils below the old floor in the curling club, which had to be removed and replaced. It was hauled away by city forces, and I think city forces actually provided the fill material for that. But as you'll see in the detail that follows on the following pages, the actual removal and replacement amounted to $12,130. There's a deduct in there of $1,200. It was part of the interior contracts with one of their subcontractors. That work was actually performed by TNT when they were doing the exterior improvements, doing the parking lot and driveways as well. So the net result of that change order is in the amount of $10,930. Excuse me. That was the base bid for the construction portion of it, and then there's a 10% management fee that goes with that as well. So the net result of that change order, as I identify on page 19, is $12,023. $10,930 is for the construction items, and then the 10% management fee on that. So I would recommend approval of change order number 2 in the amount of $12,023 to Inbuilt of Coon Rapids. That was the project manager on this project.
Support. Or motion. Sorry.
Thank you, Jim.
Support.
Thank you, Travis. Any further discussion?
One thing, Mr. Mayor.
Yep.
Jim, describe the management fee, what does that entail? $1,200 man. So,
It's their administration of the contract, such that when there is change orders, additions or something, they get a 10% markup for that in addition. Because their management fee, as I understand the contract, Brian can address it better than I, but that's pretty typical of these types of contracts. They bid, their initial proposal was based as a percentage of their estimated construction costs or the costs they had put together, such that when they do have extra work, they do get an administrative fee to handle the paperwork, I guess.
okay.
The construction inspection of it, as well as the administration of the change order.
Okay.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And myself.
Thank you, and then if you'll turn to page 23, is change order number 3 on the ice arena and the curling club. When Inbuilt put together their proposal to the city for doing this work, we had not yet done the exterior improvements, the design of the parking lot and driveways to that. In doing so, at the southeast corner on the exterior of the building is where they have some of their ventilation equipment, and no one had it included in their plan to replace that pad, that concrete pad where the ventilation equipment, and I think there's some other equipment that's mounted out there. So this is an addition for work that was not originally in the original scope for this contract. So again, it's an additional cost of $6,655, which I would recommend. And again, that The basic cost was $6,050. Again, 10% management fee of $605, so the total additional cost is $6,655, which I would recommend to be approved.
Council, unless there's any questions, I would look for motion and support to approve change order number 3, the amount of $6,655.
Make a motion.
Thank you, Marty.
Support.
Thank you, Travis. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I apologize, I don't have the, there we go, thank you, Susan. Didn't get into my packet for pay application number 13. At our last management meeting a couple weeks ago, we had encouraged them to get this final pay application put together if we could this year, because it makes all the bookkeeping and auditing that Stephanie and Devin have to do. And they did their best and got it to us, I believe, last Thursday. And this is the finaling out of that project. It does include change orders number 2 and 3, which we just approved. And if you go to, I guess it'd be the 4th page of this, you'll see the under column G, the total completed. Excuse me, under D and E, it would be the work completed to date or in this last pay application, which does amount to $234,909.09, plus the change orders, which total $18,678, but that includes change order number 1 that was done quite some time ago. So the total for this period of work completed is $253,587.09. And then you see the total quantities and costs over in column G, total work completed, which amounts to $5,651,717.70. And if you'll turn back to the first page of the pay application, you'll see the original contract sum was just over $5.55 million. The final work completed that we just talked about on item number 4 there is $5,651,717.70. At this point, we are releasing the retainage as well. As you see then on item number 7, previous payments amounted to approximately $5.15 million, such that this current payment and final payment due is $503,179.96. And I would recommend that amount for payment. It is the final pay application. I did talk to their project manager, trying to find out a little bit more about the warranties. They will be providing that warranty, most of which will be on the equipment, which probably has 5 or 10 years, but I don't know what the specifics are on labor, materials types of things. So as soon as we find that, we will pass that on to the council. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have if I can, but I would recommend approval of that final amount in the amount of $503,179.96.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you for laying that out for us. All right, councilors, any questions for Jim? If not, I would look for a motion and support to approve pay application number 13 in the amount of $503,179.96.
Motion.
Thank you, Jim.
Support.
Thank you, Jed. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
All right. Library Supervisor Katie, welcome back.
All right. Hello. So on page 27 of your packet, we're looking to adopt a resolution to accept a donation from the Evelyn Elks in the amount of $1,000. And the intent of this donation is to be used to support the annual Bringing Light to Chisholm event.
Excellent. All right, council, I'll look for a motion to approve resolution 1225-99.
Motion.
And along with a thank you letter. Thank you,
Done.
Travis.
Support.
Thank you, Jim. Any further discussion? Besides this, would like to point out that the Elks also contributed to our food shelf in town with a donation. So,
Directly to the food shop.
yep, so I'd like to say thank you very much to them in supporting our community. So,
Absolutely.
Excellent.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, and then on page 29 and 30, another donation to accept a $20 monetary donation from Michelle Nosey and earmark the funds for the Chisholm Library.
All right, council, I look for a motion and support for resolution 1225-100, accepting the donation, along with thank you.
Yep.
Make a motion.
Thank you, Jed.
Second.
Thank you, Marty. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. So we can't jump ahead. Devin, why don't you jump into City of Chisholm fees, number 3, 3742, since we have a couple minutes here?
Number 3, City of Chisholm fees, page 37. These are a list of our governmental fees, separate from our utility fees. Last year, I put together kind of a master list, and I think we should adopt it every year. Highlighted in green are the only changes. One's a return check fee for increasing that to $5 to just match what our banks charge for return checks, so it's just offsetting that cost. And then Larry mentioned our firewood. We're losing money at $5 or $6 a bundle, so he suggested move up to $8. But really, everything stayed the same because we went through them last year and feel that they're pretty good where they're at right now.
Thank you very much. Council, unless there's any questions, I would look for a motion and support to approve the City of Chisholm fees.
Motion.
Thank you, Travis.
Support.
Thank you, Jim. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next is page 43. This is just to move, it isn't an increase in spending in the budget, it's just to move from an equipment line item to a repair and maintenance line item. So it's just asking for approval to move $8,000 to those two line items within the police budget.
And council, unless there's any questions, I'd look for a motion and support.
Make a motion.
Thank you, Jed.
Second.
Thank you, Marty. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, council, well, we got 3 minutes.
I can do it.
You got it? All right. Stephanie, item 1.
The first item I have on the agenda is the Architecture Advantage proposal. So we've been working with them for the City Hall improvements, and we're getting to the point, they did complete the pre-design, so that has been sent to the state. We're waiting to hear back from them. But once we hear back from the state on the pre-design, we'll be ready to bid the project. So this contract is to hire them for bidding and through construction. We do have an up to fee, the basic service would be on page 47 of their proposal fee. They've been very good to work with during this process. Devin and I both have been working with them. So I would like to continue working with them to be able to go through with the project too. And just so everybody is aware, the bonding money that the money that we did receive for this project is $2,040,000. So that, that's the budget for this current project. There may be another phase of it too that we may be able to do.
Repeat the dollar amount.
2.040.
0.04.
Yeah.
All right, council, I look for a motion and support to approve the agreement with Architecture Advantage. And
Motion.
Thank you. Is that Jim?
Second.
Thank you, Marty. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
The next item I have on the agenda is Resolution 1225-013. This is adopting the roadway exchange agreement. This was discussed at our working session with us losing our state street aid. We did have discussions with St. Louis County to be able to have them take over some of our roads. I did ask them to not have Lake Street on there. But at this time, they are not able to fulfill the request that we had. So it would just be on your current map without Lake Street as discussed.
And, yeah, I did get an update also that there's so many people asking for it, so they're not gonna do our addition down 4th Street. They'll accommodate everything that they proposed, but they won't have any additions at this time.
Yeah, they said they would look at it later, at a later date, but at this time.
So council, I look for a motion and support to approve resolution 1225-103.
Motion.
Thank you, Jed.
Support.
Thank you, Jim. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, 28 seconds. Start my first one. I would look for a motion and support to approve the application of Jeannie Quirk to the Chisholm Paving Airport Authority.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Travis.
Second.
Thank you, Marty. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, council, at this time, I would look for a motion and support to recess into Truth and Taxation 601.
Motion.
Thank you, Jim.
Second.
Thank you, Travis. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay.
Did anybody want to sign up?
Did you sign up for that, for public participation?
Could.
Yeah. So anyone wishing to speak after Devin gives his presentation, please sign that sheet. Thank you.
So I have my slides up on the screen, and I believe the council has a printed version. This is our truth and taxation presentation. Here's our agenda. I'll introduce myself, go over the truth and taxation meeting guidelines. We'll go over the general fund budget, the budget summary and capital expenditures in the capital projects funds. We'll discuss our proposed tax levy and what increases look like, and at the end, we'll have a question and answer and public comment period. So I'm Devin Segler, I'm the clerk treasurer. This is the truth and taxation meeting. My information's up there if you want to jot it down. I'll also have it on our last slide. And feel free to call or email me with any questions about the presentation or the city budget or general property tax questions. So, truth and taxation of property taxes. This meeting must be held between November 25th and no later than December 29th. Taxing authorities are required to hold this public meeting to discuss the budget and levy and to give the public time to speak. Property owners in Chisholm should have received their proposed tax statements based on the initial levy that was set at 15%. That initial levy is the highest that this levy can be set, or highest increase that can be finalized tonight. City levy. This is used to calculate property taxes and spread among taxpayers. The levy, our levy here consists of the general fund levy and a debt service levy. The debt service levy I'll go over in a later slide. Property taxes reduced by fiscal disparities, which the city of Chisholm went up by about $100,000, which is an easement of what's going to be spread across taxpayers. Then also things, fiscal disparities, changes in the tax base, property valuation adjustments, total assessed taxable market value, zoning, homestead status, other taxing authorities, levies, etc., all affect how much is owed in taxes on a parcel. So the general fund levy. I'm going to go through these fairly quick. There's not a lot of major changes. This particular slide presents the revenues in the general fund. The adopted general fund budgeted revenues from 2025 compared to the 2026 preliminary general fund revenues. As you can see, I believe it's the third line down. Our fiscal disparities went from 733,000 up to 834,000, and that's projected for 2026, which eases the current ad valorem taxes that's actually spread across our taxpayers. Next, on page 8, this is a summary of the general fund expenditures by department. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time here because there's a lot of detail which we went through in 3 working sessions, and this is more of just a summary. Then this is a little bit more detail into the general fund revenues, and then it gives more detail into the expenditures. Page 10 is the public safety and public works recap. Page 11 is culture and rec and economic development. And this final page is basically us narrowing down what our deficit is and how much we're looking at raising the levy. So as you can see at the bottom, we have our total general fund revenues of $8,112,846, less our expenditures of $8,434,866, which leaves a deficit fund balance of $322,000. Now all of these numbers are presented with a 0% increase in the levy. Next, on page 13 are the capital projects funds. And these are our budget summaries. So these are projects that we're looking at in 2026. Some may flow over to 2027. Some are fairly preliminary because we're still waiting on funding approval. But this is what our budget is looking like for the 8 capital projects funds that we have lined up for 2026. I'll just go through each one really quick. We have a mill and overlay project, which is repaving alleys. We have a road improvement project for $40,000. That's crack sealing. That's a co-op agreement through the county where we service roads. Heritage Manor replacement. That is a whole infrastructure replacement up at Heritage Manor. City Hall basement, we just discussed that in our regular meeting, that we have just over $2 million to do renovations to our City Hall addition, I guess you could call it. There is $2.8 million budgeted for a public works garage. 2.7 of that is budgeted by we have intergovernmental revenues through bonding and grants. Then we have our Wenton addition, which is approximately $3 million in capital expenditures. We have Redhead, that is all fully funded by grants, and Longyear Lake Park. So those are our 8 projects on the horizon. Then in blue you can see there is $538,000 transferred out of the general fund. So this is the amount that our general fund is funding or contributing to these projects. So as you can see, there's $11 million in capital expenditures. Of that $11 million, the city, out of its general fund, is contributing just over $500,000. So 5% of the total estimated capital improvements. This is just a recap of how that $500,000 is being spread to each of those 8 projects. debt service fund. This is where I mentioned we do have to have a levy for debt service. Our principal and interest for 2026 is $45,171. So by statute, we're supposed to levy 105% of that principal and interest amount. So we have a levy of $47,430, which I think is the exact same as it was in 2025. Net change in general fund balance with a 0% levy increase. This is just a reminder of my previous slide that we are looking at $322,000 deficit budget. And here's how we plan on funding that. This slide, working from left to right, it goes from 10% down to 1%. And those percentages represent the percentage increase in the levy. Per our working session, we were anticipating that we could take $200,000 out of our reserves, and the remaining we would increase our levy to cover. So basically, the percentages in green are where we would increase our levy and hit that $200,000 threshold that we would pull from reserves. So based on this, we'd be looking at about a 5.25% levy increase. So my first bullet point, I guess I already spoke about, that would get us to our increase to full reserves of $200,000. And that would be my minimum recommendation for a levy increase. I'll open it up to questions, public comments. If anybody has any questions about my slides, please let me know, or please ask. Otherwise, well, that was my presentation.
Thank you very much, Devin. Now, I wasn't looking in your direction when we started this. That computer probably blocked your microphone and nobody back at home was able to hear you speaking. So why don't you go ahead and start over from the beginning? So, well, thank you very much, Devin. And at this time, I know we do have some people from the public here. I would ask that you come up to the podium to speak, because if you do have any questions or concerns, there's probably people at home that also have the same questions and concerns. And we'd love to answer those or address them at this time. So we start with Jennifer.
Yes.
Hi, good evening, Jennifer.
Well, thanks for giving me this opportunity to address my concerns. And my basic question is how this increase in taxation is proportional to increase in income for the residents of Chisholm. For those of us that are on a fixed income, is the best way to address the deficit by raising taxes? Are there cuts that can be made? I mean, so basically we're not, what I understand, we're not getting an increase in services, we're just making up for a budget deficit. And that's the reason for this increase in taxes? Am I understanding that correctly?
Well, yes and no. So if you, Devin, you would like to answer any of this, also, I don't want to speak out of turn or out of line, but obviously every year our, payroll goes up, so our, the cost of the city goes up. So we try to work everything in there, but then we try to, move everything around. We ask all of our departments to cut anything they can, but some things that we can't cut, our, insurance goes up, payroll goes up, and then obviously the cost of maintenance goes up and tools and hardware.
And I do understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But is the income of the citizens going up in proportion to the increase in your expenditures?
That's nothing that we can't control.
Are we setting the citizens of Chisholm back by increasing taxes? And for those of us on a fixed income that are getting, I think, a 2% COLA increase this coming year, is there an impact analysis on how this is going to impact the residents of Chisholm to be able to continue, at least at their present state of, the ability to manage their own finances, manage their own budgets? It seems like everybody every responsible person works really hard to live within their means and to adjust their spending to the money they have. And so basically the reason I showed up tonight is to ask you guys if you can act with the, not just, maintenance costs and this cost and that cost. We all have those, but all of us have to figure out a way to live within our budget. And we don't have the means to just go, I'm starting a couple of home businesses, that's what I'm doing. But for many people, they get what they get, and they have to work with what they get. And so I'm asking the council if you can massage your numbers a little bit and not just transfer this burden onto the citizens of Chisholm.
No, I definitely take that into consideration with everything that we're doing, and at every meeting that we've discussed the levy, and for 7 years now, I've made sure to repeat those same things, that there are plenty of individuals here who have worked their entire lives, who are now on a fixed income in retirement, and people coming back out of retirement to work. It's a tough process, and it's a hard thing. The city can't go backwards just because we can't keep, what Social Security rises, we can't base our levy based on that, which is unfortunate.
Seems
but
like that'd
trying
be a
to
good
be
goal, to look at the increase in wages. Sorry, I interrupted.
No, you're fine. This is your time.
But somebody has the data on what the cost of living is in Chisholm and how that's rising, how the wages are rising. My understanding, just from the reading that I do and how I try to keep up with current events, nobody's wages are keeping up with inflation. And so, I'm going to just close what I have to say by just begging the council to consider the financial status of the citizens and seeing if everything in the budget, is vitally necessary. Can things be put off? Can things be reworked? And just, in all good faith to take the best look at it as you can.
Okay. Absolutely. Thank you. Tara?
Hi. So I just came for a quick visit just to kind of explain or kind of question. Over the last several years, our city taxes themselves have gone up. Mine, since going back to 2017, have gone up over 155% just for the city alone. So the question is, where is this money going? I understand property valuations are being raised, and they have exponentially have gone up considerably over the last several years. And I understand that's kind of a global thing across the county. But the question is, where the property valuations are being raised, our city taxes are being raised. From when I first purchased my home to now, I'm paying more for the city of Chisholm than I did for my entire property tax bill when I first bought my home. So I just question, how can we continue to do this? How I agree with everything that was just stated before. I work, I'm able to work, I can pay my bills, but at some point I question, where is the cap for the rest of us in terms of the citizens of our town? So I just hope that in the future this can be addressed, and at some point, where is the consideration for the cap and what allotments can we look at? In terms of comparison, when I first purchased my home, our taxes were about $2,000. I pay over $4,000 for the proposed in 2026. So the question I have is, what can we do? Is there other options beside continuously raising and offsetting costs? As I agree, inflation and raises, employers, they're not compatible. And at what point can we help our citizens so that we're not looking at this? This isn't just me alone. I hear from everybody else across the board that this has been going on. And in the future, I just wish that we can take into account everything across and look at our citizens before just continuously raising and raising and raising the taxes. So
I would just like one comment on that, where yours has increased so much, and that's based on the valuations, not what we've set on our levies.
Exactly.
And obviously, as your valuations goes up, the levy affects you differently because of the value of the home. but we haven't raised our levy and our percentages up to 105%. You know, we've been pretty consistent around 5-6% over, you know, last couple of years, and, you know,
I mean, it has gone up. I mean, it's just incremental every time, you know, every year it goes up another $600. I mean, that's what it comes out to, but I understand what you're saying. When you raise the valuation, you can raise the rate of everything else. I mean, that's just understandable. But the question is, at what point is there gonna be a cap? But I know that's not the meeting tonight. But it's just kind of, I want everybody to kind of be aware, this isn't just me, it's not me, just one person standing here, but everybody else has kind of the same concern going on. And what else can we do to control kind of that fluctuation? I understand that most of it's off of the proposed rates, but again, you know, for one, you know, house, you have that standard, and then it's like everybody else, I'm not getting anything more, you know, in the city than someone else who is paying, you know, $1,000. I don't have any better streets. I mean, this is just understandable.
Please show up to your house just as fast as mine or anybody else's.
Yeah.
The water leaves and comes to your house.
Understandable. I mean, I just,
Exactly.
you know, it's just
The methodology of
the rates.
the property taxes, again, that's the meeting in April or May, but, you know, that is not a fair, you know, system that we do have in place, and it should be a square footage based on your property. It doesn't matter the kind of house or the, you know, if you update a house and you build a new house, it doesn't matter the property that's on the you know, the building that's on the property, it should be the property.
Yeah.
But, you know, and I do agree with you 100%.
Yeah, and like I've gone to the meetings before for the property valuations. I've had them come to the house and said, this is what it is, this is it, or that's it. So I mean, unless you continuously go, it's like, at what point can we kind of look at the county too in terms of those evaluations? So I just want to voice my concern, but understandable that it's all kind of all snipped together with the evaluations, but at some point it's kind of like unnerving to even want to be in the town where I grew up. So just a consideration.
Thank you. All right, having no more public participation, I will adjourn the, motion to adjourn the, Truth and Taxation.
Motion.
Thank you, Jim. Support. Thank you, Jed. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, so I'll call the regular meeting back to order. It is 6:22. We have Resolution 1225-101, set final levy. My meeting. Then when you come back up, or not, you know.
I wasn't sure if it was my turn.
Well, you know, I believe we have everything in front of you. I know your recommendation being the minimum would be, you know, no less than 5.25 to accommodate, you know, the projects that we have, and to, you know, recoup that $122,000, that shortfall that we have with our deficit. I would be right in line around there. You know, I hate to have two less. I know 15%, that's something that we set. You can never go higher than that, so it's always just nice. You never know what's gonna come up. You know, my recommendation to the council would be somewhere between 6 and 6.5%. You know, it'd be nice to have a little cushion, so when we are working in here, that we do have, a little padding in case anything else comes up. But obviously, I would say that no less than the 5.25, otherwise we are gonna be negative. And that's my opinion. So council, any comments, questions?
Well, I've stated earlier that I believe this needs to be 0 to 5%, not above 5%, period. That's my opinion on it.
Yeah, it's hard. It's a difficult thing, and I'll be the first to admit, I mean, I made the motion, I didn't make the motion to set at 15% because I thought I didn't know where we were gonna end up with this. Like, it's hard to, without getting a bump of money from the government, and from the legislatures, it puts us in a hard position to improve Chisholm. I mean, we had to cut mill and overlay out of this project to get the levy to where it is now, which sets us back, in my eyes. That sets us back. And so a mill and overlay project every single year is a home run in my book. Now, we didn't get that this year, that's okay. Hopefully next year is better than this year, and who knows, maybe the legislature will give us a gift at some point. But in order for us to do projects in town, like unfortunately, if we want to do a project in town, it often ends up as part of the levy. And, you know, we've done a great job of getting grants. Our leadership team has done an outstanding job to get us to a budget at this percentage. And, you know, I guess for me, I'd be in line between 5 and 6. I mean, I think that's a home run compared to 15, where we were a couple months ago. Does it suck? Absolutely. Is this where we want to be? No. But unfortunately, reality sets us kind of in that boat. I mean, I could have leeway one way or the other, but you know, I think that's probably where we'll end up. But
Mr. Mayor, I agree. I look at the price of healthcare costs. We're like 8.5% right now. We're looking at costs for our employees. Union contracts raises, right? That's all cost of city money. We have to be able to pay that. I look at even alleged fraud in Minnesota. If it's real, whatever's going down in St. Paul, look at the billions of dollars flying out there. That money should come back to you guys, all of us, right? So we have to keep operating the city, but we have to keep moving the city forward as well, because if we don't pave streets, we don't do infrastructure, we're gonna pass it on to the next council of 20 years down the road, and it's gonna cost 10 times more to get this done. So we have these projects, our staff, our leadership has been getting money from the legislature, which, like you said, is our money too as well, but we're actively getting money from outside of the city that doesn't touch us. Like, we have $2 million for our city hall project we got from the state. The IRRR helps us out with quite a bit of money too as well. So I don't want any taxes either. My proposed taxes are $4,400 at 15%. So I feel it too. But I think the system is complete crap, like the mayor said. It needs to be redone, like what he said, by square foot. But I think we should be between 5 and 6 though.
I would comment on that. You know, when we talk about projects that we're doing and the stuff that we are doing in the anticipated future of Chisholm and what we're trying to leave behind us. You know, everything that we're doing is to make it better in the future. When we get Wetton Addition moving and we get some new houses coming in, that's going to help alleviate the tax burden on everybody else. When we get the Public Works building moved and we're able to use that lot down there to build new houses, to get new houses in town, that will help lessen the burden on everyone else. So we're not just doing something to upgrade and make something prettier that's already existing. We are trying to make something better for the future, and it's going to help us out. I think a lot of these communities saw a lot of deferred maintenance from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and it's catching up. And City of Chisholm has spent a lot of money over the last 20 years. And Councilor Halverson, you've been here and you've seen how much money we've done to replace infrastructure. And you know, I think we are, you know, we're right there with everybody else. And but I think we've been very fiscally responsible with what we have. And you know, in the long run, this should be helping to alleviate that burden. Councilor Halverson, do you have any input?
Yeah, I'm in that 5%, 6% range too. Going lower isn't really gonna provide what we need, and we obviously don't need to go higher for reasons we've stated. So and Deb is 5.25, so you can round it down to 5 or up to 6, but I'd be in that range.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion we set it at 6.
Thank you, Councilor Oliva. Is there support for 6%?
I'll second.
Thank you, Marty. Is there any further discussion? Susan, would you please take a roll call vote?
Counselor Halava?
Aye.
Counselor Talton? Absent. Counselor Baki?
Yes.
Counselor Varda,
No.
Counselor Halverson,
Aye.
Mayor Lance.
Aye. Motion carries. Moving on, resolution number 1225-102.
This is on page 35. It's just the formal adoption of the enterprise fund budgets. The revenues and revenues and expenses are presented in that resolution. And so we're just looking for formal adoption of that, the enterprise fund budgets.
And council, unless there's any questions, I'd look for a motion support for resolution 1225-102.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Travis.
I'll second.
Thank you, Marty. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And council, moving back down to page 60 in your packet. Resolution number 1225-104. We would like to appoint Counselor Hollova, Jed Hollova, to the Central Iron Range Sanitary Sewer District. I'll look for a motion and support.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Travis.
Support.
Thank you, Jim. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And thank you for doing that again, Counselor.
Welcome.
Resolution number 1225-105, waiver of municipal consent. So council, this has got to go on with, where are we at here? Jim already took off here. So I can catch my bearings real quick again. So this is the 73 corridor? Was
Yes,
that
I'm
right?
sorry, yes.
No, that's fine.
Yes, it's for the mill and overlay for the Highway 73 North. That will be completed next year.
So with this, we've all had the meetings, the state has laid everything out for us, the information's in the packet as far as what they're doing. You know, I believe that we're all on the same page. If we don't have this resolution of 1225-105 for the waiver of municipal consent, we're gonna have public hearings and carry this in, so everything that they try to do, or that we discussed, that we're gonna have to come back and have a public hearing and have the, you know, the formality that we have with all of our meetings. You know, where first we're gonna have to post, wait 2 weeks, have a meeting down at Senior Center, then come back in to review. Is that correct, Brian? You're correct there. So being that I believe that we're all on the same page, I believe that this would be the route to go. If we look on the trifold inside your packet here, it also lays out the costs and what it is. At least you shake your packet, it's in there somewhere. Mine fell out when I was running through. But this is the removal of the signal system, adjust frame. One of the things that, you know, they're pulling out is the bulb lights that go down the 73 corridor. Obviously, it goes down Main Street and it looks fabulous. You know, I was talking with Larry and Jim, that it was kind of a little out of place. You know, it goes down 73, it does provide a nice little ambiance, but it's just, you know, it'd be a lot extra dollars to take those out, put them back in. So Larry was saying that they're gonna pull out the ones with the bulbs and that they're gonna house them at the Public Works, so that way if they ever have a big wind event or an accident on Main Street, we have spares. So other than that, and then we'll come back down through, removing of the light system, you know, installing the four-way and everything right in there. So my recommendation would be to approve the waiver of municipal consent. So unless there's any more discussion, I'll look for motion support for resolution 1225-105.
I have a question.
Yep.
What is the new four-way gonna look like?
The new four-way?
Yeah.
Four-way stop sign.
Stop signs?
Stop signs.
It's gonna be ugly, okay.
But I know there will be conversations at home, which individuals have already ran through, and I do know that when we did the trial last September, where we moved everything to a four-way flashing light, and I agree, it'd look a lot nicer, but I think there's a little redundancy having the lights there. It does decrease the cost, which that's not really a factor for me. I was really concerned about getting away from the stoplights initially, and when we did actually run the four-way, we had the sidewalk come out a little bit farther, not the sidewalk actually, but they jutted it out, and I think it ran very smoothly, and I think it's gonna be fabulous when we do it.
Yes,
Hey.
Mary?
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. You sure? Okay. Do we have a car accident right after we put the lights back on?
Yes.
Too, up there? Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that I supported the four-way initially, and I still support it. I think that we've proven that is acceptable. I like that we're gonna start that process early with the lights until they're removed. I think that will be a really good thing, just like Valentini's down there has been a good thing. So, I mean, if everyone's okay, I'll make the motion to approve the waiver.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. One nay. Okay, number 4. Schedule reorganizational meeting for January 6, 2026. So this would be the first Tuesday of January, correct?
Yes.
Brian, let me ask you this. Is this the reorganizational, is this specific to Chisholm,
It's,
the first Tuesday?
the way that we set it, or the way that it's set is particular to each community. It does have to happen early in the year. It just happens that this date is the date that's set by our charter. So to change this date, we'd have to amend our charter.
In our charter. Would we be able to, so there'd be nothing wrong with us changing our first council meeting day to that Tuesday?
Correct.
As to not have back-to-back meetings?
Yeah.
If we so wanted to.
That could be accomplished, absolutely.
Okay. All right, council, I look for a motion to schedule the reorganizational meeting for January 6, 2026, pursuant to our city charter.
5:30.
At
5:30?
5:30 PM.
Motion.
Okay.
Thank you, Jed.
Second.
Thank you, Travis. For further discussion, would the rest of the council be open to, or I heard a little bit of a nay down there.
I just have another meeting at 4 o'clock that day.
Okay, but I don't know if instead of having back-to-back meetings, if we just did our initial meeting on the 6th as well, after the reorganizational. Any thoughts on that?
That's fine.
That's what the school board does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with that, I just,
Yeah.
I just have to maybe duck out of that other meeting before it's done, that's all right.
Okay, so we'll set the reorganizational meeting for 5:30, January 6th, and then we will bring a motion for our later December meeting to reschedule that meeting. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, council, I would look for a motion support, schedule a working session for the Highway 73 corridor for January 21st, 2026. 2026, that is just... what time was the...
5:30.
5:30 PM. So this is, I'm assuming in line with what the MnDOT can be here?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, I got that date from them.
Okay.
5:30.
5:30, January 21st, 2026. I look for a motion and support.
I'll make the motion.
Support.
Thank you, Travis. Thank you, Jim. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, lastly, council, I look for a motion and support to approve a liquor license for Minnesota C-Store, 100 West Lake Street. Cigarette license, what did I say?
Liquor.
Liquor, oh, jeez. Getting ahead of myself here in Chisholm, you know? So I look for a motion and support to approve a cigarette license for Minnesota C-Store, 100 West Lake Street.
Motion.
Thank you, Jim.
Support.
Thank you, Jed. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, council, does anyone have anything under miscellaneous they would like to bring up?
I have one small thing. Councilor Barta and I actually had a discussion about all of the boards and commissions that we sit on. And I think we'd like to have a discussion at some point in the future about like what the requirements are for us to be at those. You know, whether it's like quarterly and come with a report, or if we're, you know, some of us cannot make a monthly meeting. It just is impossible to do. And if the expectation for me is to be at that, you know, then I want to at least be up front when I'm on the board and tell Colin, like, you're going to see me once every 6 months, you know. So I just think some sort of discussion at a working session or whatever in the future about what that expectation is, because I know the boards are important. I know they want to see us, but what is our role, I guess, in the expectation for being there?
Okay. Yeah, I would say that the most, I think the expectations probably were there for most of them, but I would probably say, obviously, yeah, we have a lot of things going on. Susan, for our next meeting in December, could you make sure that everyone has a list of the boards and commissions and the times that they meet?
Yeah.
And then I would request that each counselor send me a list of what they're preferred on, and then you could, you know, if it's something that you cannot make, maybe you want to be on a board, but you can't make every meeting, but somebody else wants to be on a board and they can make every meeting. I think it would be more, you know, apt to put that individual onto that board, you know. But you know, we can always work them through there. But obviously, like I said, there's some beyond the yellow ribbon, I have not made one meeting. The way that the Precious Paws meets, it does not align with my schedule at all, and I have not been able to make the meeting. So those are things that we can all keep in mind. So as long as we have that list, I think everyone can get to me in December, and we can talk about it in January. All right, council, I'd look for a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Thank you, Jim.
Second.
Who's that? Travis? Thank you, Travis. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Good night, everybody.